There. So in chapter 6, the whole thing is plotting linear inequalities. So we just spent a bunch of time doing linear equalities. Now I want to deal with the inequality part. So let's look at our signs. This is a less than sign, which means this is greater than. And this, so what's the difference on this one? What does that little line on the bottom mean? Exactly. The little line on the bottom is less than or equal to. So we have to add that or equal to because of that part. So this is greater than or equal to. Okay, big old confession here. I have issues with left and right. If you tell me to turn right at a corner, you know what? There's 50-50 chance I'm going to get it because there's only two choices. Okay. And for those of you that say, well, hey, just, you see my fingers, do this. When I get all stressed out, I can't tell which of those is it. This is my life. I'm feeling safe. I'm confessing to you. So, God bless Mrs. Romano, my grade 1 teacher, who taught us about the greedy alligators. Yeah, you younger set may have learned about greedy Pac-Man. Well, there wasn't Pac-Man when I was in grade 1. If you want to figure out how old I am, Pac-Man showed up when I was about, I think Atari showed up about grade 11, maybe grade 10 or grade 11. Some of you may even have to Google what Atari was. Anyway, back to work. So, grade 1. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you heard that, but Pac-Man showed up in grade 7. Apparently, I was a bit of a late adopter. So there, you can work from there and figure out how old I am. But getting back to my lesson, it's a greedy alligator, and he always wants to eat the bigger fish. So, grade 1, and it makes sense to me now, is all I know is my greedy alligator is always going to eat the larger number of fish, so it's always going to open towards the bigger number. Ergo, I do not need to remember left and right. I don't even have to remember less than, greater than sign. I just need to know which direction it's going to go. All right, so take a pause. You do this. I know you can do it. Okay, so 4 is less than 7. Okay, but more importantly, my brain said 7 is the bigger one. That's where it's going to open to. To me, that's so much easier now. Excuse me. 9 is greater than 2. 15 is greater than 0. This one, 2 answers. Well, I guess 3 if you really want to argue. We can go this way. We can go this way. We could really use an equal sign, but that's cheating because this is a section on inequalities. Now, -2 and 2. Well, that's easier because 2 is bigger. This is the one, and I even started to remind myself to pay attention. When my general rule is if I'm doing inequalities, I will avoid negatives at all costs. It just causes confusion. And if you divide by a negative number with an inequality, it actually flips your sign. And I don't want to deal with that. But what I do remember is if they're both negative, I think of it in terms of temperature. So in reality, -8 is greater than -10. So think temperature. Or think about owing people money. This is a better thing. It's closer to 0. Than this one. All right. Next one, imagine and then write equations and a graph for the following scenarios. Okay, I think imagine should have been over there. And it probably will be on your sheet. All right, so I have to spend exactly $6 on lunch. So we're going to use X is equal to 6. I would use L, but I find when I use an L, it ends up looking like a 1 and it gets very confusing. Sorry. So if I was drawing a handy-dandy number line, and now I wish I would have pre-printed these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That is spending exactly $6 on lunch. X is equal to 6. X is equal to 6. There's one answer, and we're done. Spending $6 or less. Okay, so $6 is okay. So it can be equal to $6 or it can be less. So X is less than or equal to 6. Arrow, arrow, it's a nice little number line. So 6 is okay. And it says or less. So it's okay, 4 is okay, 350 is okay. So basically, there's my nice little graph. I'm not going to go below 0 because we're talking about money and it doesn't make any sense to have negative. Less than $6 on lunch, so X is less than 6. So I could spend nothing on lunch. I could spend $1 on lunch. I could spend $3 on lunch. I could spend $5 on lunch. I could spend $5.50 on lunch. I could spend $5.99 on lunch. Okay. So then it gets weird. How do we show that we go all the way up to 6, but not there? What you do in math is you draw an open dot. There. That looks a little better. It's getting all messy over there. And then you graph like that. So if it's the less than sign, you go like that. If it's less than or greater to, then you color in the dot to show that you include that number. And the same thing for the greater than or equal to signs. All right, how about you pause the camera and do these last two? All right, I'm going to trust that you did. $6 or more for lunch, so X is greater than or equal to 6. So 6 is good or more. X is greater than 6. So how do we show we have to spend more than 6? 6 is not part of our answer, so you put a circle around that number, and then you draw after that. And there we go. Okay, so big important thing to remember that less than and greater than do not include the values, whereas the ones with the little bars remind That's reminding you this is equal to, and there we go, inequalities, part one.